Hello everyone and welcome back to Carvenus 14. Now today we are going to be doing another build showcase video on Arlecchino, and the reason we're doing that is because I finally managed to get myself a pretty decent set for Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy, which if you guys didn't know is Arlecchino's signature artifact set, which is actually really strong on her. Now I would run comparisons between this and Gladiator's Finale to see how good they really are, but I don't actually have a good Gladiator's Finale artifact set. Yeah, and when I say not good, I mean like there's a 50% crit damage difference. It's a pretty big marginal gap. Yeah, and I know what you're thinking. How do I not have a good Gladiator's Finale set after playing for like since patch 1.0? The simple reason is because I didn't have a lot of DPSs in my life that constantly needed me to go for characters. Yeah, and as you know, I don't really farm that much for characters unless I'm changing teams, right? Not changing teams, sorry, changing DPSs. That's kind of when I farm for my supports as well. Yeah, so because if you guys know my DPS history, my first ever DPS was like really the Traveler, but they were like sub-built, right? They weren't really built that much. Then it was Zhongli from patch 1.0 all the way through to patch 2.1 when I got Raiden Shogun. And after I got Raiden Shogun, I didn't actually play the game for like a full patch. Then Shen-He came along, and I used Shen-He as a DPS. And now we've moved on to Arlecchino. So you see there's not a lot of DPSs in my lifetime of playing this game. So because of that, I don't have a lot of good sets for, DPSs. I mean, the only good 4-piece I actually have is Shimenao's Reminiscence. So, yeah, we will be comparing Arlecchino with the Shimenao's Reminiscence set that I have, because the crit damage difference is like 209% to 23%, which is what I currently have on Arlecchino. The difference is very, it's a bit more marginal. It's like a 14% crit damage difference, right? In fact, to make it more consistent, what I could actually do is change the helmet to this. Maybe that would make it a lot more... That just... Actually, hold on. Yes, that makes it so much more comparable, actually. Yeah. So, we'll basically go like this, guys. Arlecchino, Shimenao's Reminiscence versus Fragments of Harmonic Whimsy. This is going to be a very good test, and just for the sake of it, I'm also going to put a 2-2-piece in there, because as you guys knew, I was running a 2-2-piece set on Arlecchino to basically, see... just to kind of just go with the flow, basically. Shimenao's Reminiscence didn't really work on Arlecchino, at least with the team I was running before, but now I've changed my team up a little bit. So, yeah, as you can clearly see, it's a double Pyro, double Geo team, which, in my experience, is actually more consistent compared to the Hyper Carry team, which is like Yunjin, Bennett, and Sucrose or Kazuha. I don't have Kazuha, so I use Sucrose instead. But from my personal experience, the Hyper Carry team does more damage, but it's very inconsistent. Like, at least my team only does, like, that amount of damage for, like, the first 3 or 4 seconds, and then it falls off a cliff. Whereas the double Geo, double Pyro team does a really good amount of damage, comparable to the Hyper Carry team, but it's a lot more consistent, right? Yeah, it's a lot more consistent. So yeah. Anyway, guys, this build will really just showcase Arlecchino's own damage. Now, before we do actually get onto the test, the only thing I'm going to use is Zhongli's shield, simply to keep my health up, basically. Yeah, I'd rather not take any damage within this test or get knocked back while I'm explaining something. So we're going to use Zhongli's shield. Now, keep in mind, Zhongli's shield does reduce the enemy's resistance by 20%, but because we're keeping it the same across, compared to every other, for all the tests we're going to be doing, it shouldn't really matter. Yes, so we are going to run this and see how well it actually could work. And is this set much of an upgrade? Now, Arlecchino it's been about 4 days or 5 days since Arlecchino came out. Some of you may already be farming for this set. Some of you might not have started farming for this set and are still looking for opinions. So this video is perfect for you guys. Now, what we're going to do, guys, is without further delay, we're going to get on to Masanori. levitate our way over there. And at the very end, I will showcase my new version of this build to showcase how strong this artifact set actually is with my current team. So, yeah. Oh, before we do actually start, guys, I probably should say something. For those of you that don't know, or you haven't seen my other Arlecchino videos, since she came out, of course, like the build showcase videos I'm talking about, my Arlecchino does have Crimson Moon semblance, right? I do have Crimson Moon semblance, and my Arlecchino is also C3. If you're asking, did I spend money on a game? No, I didn't. It's just a lot of saving up. Like, I had 67,000 Primo Gems to blow on this banner, and I did. In fact, I even managed to get to the Great Magics. Yeah, I managed to get an R2, the Great Magic, as well, because I managed to lose to the weapon banner twice and succumb to its fate system. But, such is life, I guess. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have C4 or maybe even C5. But, yeah, that's just the way it is. So, yeah, that's basically it, guys. Now, this is the split for the artifact set. 64% crit rate with 209.6% crit damage. So, we're gonna go with that. You wish to report? And yeah, let's get to it, guys. So we're gonna have to record the numbers in our head mentally. There's the charge attack, 100k on the charge attack with the C2, 72k there, 52k going down, 45, 36. Yeah. It's a little bit inconsistent. I probably should have eaten crit rate food to try and keep the damage numbers up, honestly. Actually, I might just do that. Let me see. Is there a food item that I've cooked? I've never eaten, like, offensive food before, so I should have a lot of it stored up. That's defensive, attack. Hold on, let me see. Is there one for crit rate? There should be, right? There we go. But that affects crit damage as well. This is crit rate and attack. There has to be just crit rate around here somewhere. Ah, there we go. Yeah, delicious part the free, which increases all party members' crit rate by 20% for 300 seconds. Okay, guys, we're going to be using this food just to increase the crit rate so that we can actually get more consistent numbers. So the crit rate is going to go up from 64% to 84% for 5 minutes. So we're going to do it like that, and we'll see. Delicious part de free. Okay. I have consumed delicious part de free, and we should have around 84%. Yeah, we do have 84%. So this should make it a lot more consistent for us to actually test the numbers out. Wait, what? Okay, there we go. He moved a little bit back since Zhongli's pillars disappeared. Alright. 80, 87, 85, 73, 70,000. Going down now, guys, because you see the blood debt, it's going down consistently. Yeah. So, there we go. Oh, I also completely forgot to tell you guys. Yeah, another reason this test is kind of inconsistent is because of Zhongli's pillar, right? Yeah, because of his pillar. I probably should get rid of the pillar. You know what? Yeah, because Zhongli's pillar is not necessarily a bad thing, guys. It's just that his pillar is well, I have a tenacity of the Millilith on him. So yeah, that's kind of why, which might be a mistake. So we'll try this again. This time without Zhongli's pillar in the way. Okay, still 84, 78, 60, 65, 53. Yeah, it will slowly go down, guys. That's just how Arlecchino is supposed to work, because her damage scales with her blood debt. So yeah, you guys can see we're at 85,000 originally, and we go down slowly all the way down to 35,000. Right? Now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to change Arlecchino's artifact sets, and we're going to change it to Shimonau's Reminiscence. Where's that piece? There we go. This one is this one? No, this one. And this one is that, yeah. Alright, so as you guys can see, 4-piece Shimonau's Reminiscence. And this is 100% crit rate with 209.6. Exactly the same amount of crit. The exact same amount of crit damage, I should say. The crit rate is 100%, which is amazing. But, yeah, so that's basically how it's gonna go. Anyway, guys, we shall see this through. Oh, wait, before we do, remember Zhongli's Pillar. Let's go. Okay, so you guys can see there, the damage is still very comparable, 81,000 on average, but you guys can see here that the damage falls off a lot faster, right? That isn't the fact that's not because Arlecchino's losing Bond of Life faster, it's because obviously the 50% damage is doing a lot less compared to what Arlecchino's signature set does, because the main difference here, guys, is that this set will boost the normal charged and plunging attack damage, right, of the character wearing this set after they use their elemental skill. Okay, now I did have 15 energy because obviously Arlecchino's burst was available, but I did use elemental skill and I lost about 15 energy, right? Yeah, this set, what it does is it basically makes it so that whenever you lose or gain Bond of Life, you basically deal increased damage, right? Your damage dealt is increased by up to 54%, which Arlecchino can instantly stack, right? Your elemental skill, then a charge attack, 2 autos, and you've basically stacked it all the way, right? She can instantly stack it, which is really, really good, right? Yeah. And she can basically have this up 100% of the time because of the way Arlecchino works and the way that this set works, right? You'll constantly keep resetting the countdown all the time, right? Yeah. So basically, we've shown that this set is technically better, not just in terms of top-end damage, but you guys can also see that Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy actually fell off a lot slower in terms of damage compared to Shimonau's Reminiscence, simply because of the way that the sets work, right? Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy is obviously carrying on being applied, whereas Shimonau's Reminiscence will get lower and lower because the normal attack damage that you're doing is also getting lower and lower because the Bond of Life you get is getting lower and lower, right? Shimonau's Reminiscence directly buffs your normal charged and plunging attacks, right? Whereas this set buffs your damage overall, right? Which, let's remember, the way that the calculations work in this game is that normal attack damage is a part of, the base scaling, right? The base scaling, the 50% normal attack damage is increasing the base scaling that it's doing. That's the way it works in the calculations. This increases damage dealt, which, just to let you guys know, works completely differently. Damage dealt happens at the very end of the damage calculation, which is after crit damage, right? If you critically strike, you'll add a critical damage modifier, which is normally the very final thing in a damage calculation. However, if damage dealt is also available in the team, you will also increase your damage based off of the damage dealt, right? So after the crit damage, because of the way this set works, because it gives you 54% crit damage, you will also be increasing the damage that you deal by 54%. And let's not forget, with this double Geo team, I'm also running Geo Resonance, which also increases your damage dealt by an extra 15%. The 15% here, though, is very negligible, because if I didn't have double Geo, I would probably be around 83,000, right? But that still doesn't change the fact that Shimonau's Reminiscence falls off so much harder, right? Because we went from Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy, we were at 85,000 and slowly fell down to 35,000. Whereas with Shimonau's Reminiscence, we were at 81,000 and fell a lot faster down to 20,000. So the gap in damage difference is a lot bigger at the lower ends compared to this set, which is a lot more consistent because of the way that it works. This this increases the damage you deal, whereas Shimenao's Reminiscence increases your normal attack damage directly, right? Which means for every other character, that would actually be a very good thing, right? But for Arlecchino, because her damage scales directly off of the amount of Bond of Life she has, the lower amount of Bond of Life she has, the less damage her autos are going to deal, right? Or her normal attacks are going to deal, right? Which means the normal damage scaling from Shimenao's Reminiscence is also going to be a lot smaller compared to the increased damage dealt that Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy is giving, right? Exactly. So that's why this set is ultimately the best for Arlecchino, because it doesn't rely off of anything at all apart from her Bond of Life fluctuating. It doesn't rely off her base stats, and it doesn't rely off her any attack modifiers. It works solely off of her Bond of Life fluctuating, which is what makes this set so good on Arlecchino, because it just proves to be the best overall average option. Now, obviously, compared to Gladiator's Finale, you'll see that people talk about Gladiator's Finale, and that's a really consistent option as well, right? Which is why people say Gladiator's Finale is a very, very good alternative to Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy, because the damage difference is only about 10%. And at that point, it really just becomes substats, right? Now, I don't have great substats on my Gladiator's Finale, which is why I'm not even going to bother testing it, because it would be an unfair test, right? Yeah, and I don't want to do anything like that. I don't want to give you guys the wrong information, right? And just for comparison, we're going to do a two-piece thing, okay? We're going to go Marechaussee Hunter, which is the set I was running on Arlecchino. Two-piece Marechaussee Hunter, two-piece Shimenao. Oh, whoops. We're gonna run that set, and I'll show you guys the actual stat difference. Now, we're at 218.2% with the crit food, right? So we'll try this again, and we'll see. We've got a little bit more crit rate than normal. Crit damage, I should say, than normal, but I think honestly it will be fine. Yeah. So let's try this again. And there you guys can see the ceiling is so much lower, which obviously is to be expected. 65,000 going down to 23,000. Right? You can see how much lower the damage actually was there. We started off a lot lower compared to normal, and that's basically what happens. Now, you guys are probably wondering, what does a two-piece attack percent actually do, right? What about two-piece attack percent? Okay, fair enough. We'll go two-piece attack percent, and we'll see how this goes. Right? Now, in terms of crit damage, 220% crit damage. Okay, so still like a comparable amount, about 10% difference, which is fine. We're gonna try this again. We're gonna try this again with attack percent, and we will see. And you can see it's a little bit better, right? It's a little bit better. The attack percent, we were hitting around 71,000 there at the very beginning, and now we're scaling down to around 20,000 to 30,000. So, as you guys could tell, Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy definitely is her best in slot, right? Compared to Shimenao's Reminiscence, at least. Most people won't run Shimenao's Reminiscence, but if you do have someone like Zhongli or a really strong shielder on your team, you can afford to use Shimenao's Reminiscence, because you won't need to use Arlecchino's ultimate to heal. And Arlecchino's ultimate, no matter how good it does look, is not the main source of her damage. So, in your eyes, in fact, in a lot of people's eyes, Arlecchino's ult is mainly there to save her, give her iframes, and heal her, right? And reset her elemental skill. Most people, especially in Spiral Abyss, probably won't use Arlecchino's elemental burst at all when they run a shielder, because it's just a loss in DPS, right? So, for those of you out there that do have a shielder on you and are considering Shimenao's Reminiscence over something like Gladiator's Finale or something like, Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy, if you don't have Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy, I honestly would say don't farm proactively for Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy, right? It's not a great artifact set to farm because the only artifact that the only user can actually use this artifact set is Arlecchino right now. If you've seen the leaks, Chlorand also would be a very good user for Fragment of Harmonic Whimsy. So unless you're trying to pre-farm for Chlorand or you really love Arlecchino and would do anything for her, then do go for this set. However, if you have got better things to do in your life, you know, you've actually got a life outside of Genshin, and you don't want to waste it on farming, you know, losing your mental and hair over artifact RNG, don't farm this set, save your sanity, and go enjoy your life outside this game, alright? But that's basically it, guys. I hope this has been a very good comparison video for you. I do apologize for not being able to provide Gladiators Finale footage, because I genuinely don't have a good Gladiators Finale set. And I know that may sound silly, but I don't farm world bosses all that often, right? So, yeah, and if you compare that with Gladiators Finale, with artifact RNG, you'd probably be like, okay, fair enough, understandable. But anyway, guys, I have been Carvenus14 and still am, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Actually, no, you're not going to enjoy the rest of your day because I need to show you guys my actual build on Arlecchino. This is my new build that I'm running on Arlecchino, okay? Why did I exit? Okay, I shouldn't have exited, but ayo, it is what it is. Yeah, so I am going to change around the artifacts a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to change around the artifacts just a tad. Because, yes. So, now I should have, yes. So, my Arlecchino build has about 62.4% crit rate and 223.6% crit damage. Now, if you guys know me, my motto is basically, if you're not doing any meta content and you're just playing in the open world, 50% crit rate is perfectly fine. You don't need any more... Sorry, you don't need any less. I mean... 50% crit rate is the normal that you should have, right? As long as you're critting for most of your normal attack hits, you're in a good position, right? Yeah, because the overworld is not actually too difficult once you start, you know, getting used to the enemies and playing with them, right? Yeah, so... honestly, having about 60% is recommended, but 50% is like the bare minimum, in my opinion, that you should have, especially in the overworld. Yeah, and then everything else you could just dump into crit damage. But this is a pretty good split, I would say. Obviously, more crit rate would be desirable, but honestly, it's not something I would lose sleep over. So, yeah, we're going to go like this, guys, and I'm going to show you just how strong my Arlecchino build is. We're going to do it completely bland first, right? We're going to do it completely bland, and then I'm going to do with Bennett's ultimate and with Yunjin's ultimate, yeah. Okay, so let's do this.
Let me try. Solidify.
That was 90k on the opening right there. Okay, maybe if I just... Yeah, so you guys can see that my Arlecchino's pretty damn strong. I mean, with Zhongli's Tenacity of the Millilith there, that was about 90,000 on the first few autos, right? Hovering around 90 to 80,000. And then after the Bond of Life started getting lower and lower, she went down to 30,000-ish attack, right? Yeah, 30,000. Now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to do absolutely everything. We're going to use Arlecchino's... not Arlecchino's burst, sorry. Bennett's burst, Yunjin's burst, as well as, you know, my Arlecchino. And if you guys do want to see a more in-depth video of how this team works, and, you know, if you guys do have similar characters, you want to see how this team actually works well together, then do let me know and I might make a video on it. Or I might just make a video tomorrow on it, I don't know. But, yeah, we shall see how this goes. damage, I would say. About what was that, 120,000 on the first few autos? Yeah, maybe if I stood in the circle, it'd be even higher. But it normally is around that value, even while I do stand in the circle, guys. So, yeah. That's basically my Arlecchino and how strong she really is, guys. Yeah, I honestly think this is a really good point to wrap up the video now, I would say. So, yeah, I have basically been Carvenus14 and still am. And I hope a lot of you enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.